Sitaram Yechuri.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. Sir, I rise with a sense of despair and with a sense of anguish is not, it's a mild term, sir, but something more than that, very troubled. In a troubled state of mind, because, sir, I personally happen to be a victim of such a demand for a separate Telangana way back in 1969. I had to move out of Andhra Pradesh and come here, sir, and lose 2 years in my academic life as a result of the disruption that happened there at that point of time. And 40 years ago, what happened? Now, 44 years ago, the same thing is repeating itself. The Congress party, right from the time of the linguistic reorganization of the states, was always prevaricating whether Telangana should be a separate state or not. After 300 people died out of police firing in the 60s, when I was a student there, later, finally, they came to a conclusion that the state should not be divided. And by that, they said the way in which the issues of development of backward regions will be addressed is by bringing a constitutional amendment which says that, which was enshrined in Article 371D. After 69, huge agitations took place in the other part of Andhra, which was the Jaya Andhra agitation. Many lives were lost there. And after that, in 1973, the then Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, initiated this discussion, and Article 371D was added to the Indian Constitution as a solution for this backwardness, to solve the backwardness problem, and so that the demand for a separation will not arise again. I read out from the provision of that amendment, Article 371D. Sir. It says special provisions with respect to the state of Andhra Pradesh. This section, amongst others, provided that the President of India, quotes, may by order provide for equitable opportunities and facilities for the people belonging to different parts of the state in the matter of public employment and in the matter of education, and different provisions may be made for various parts of the state, unquote.
State Minister.
Sir, this provision. Sir,
please don't disturb.
Sir, the reason why I'm reminding this August House, 40 years ago, 1973, 40 years ago exactly, we considered and amended the Indian Constitution as a solution to this problem. But during these 40 years, this problem has not been solved. It has reached a stage where now the separation of Telangana is actually become a reality. Now, why did this happen? For 40 years, why was this not implemented? Who is going to answer that to the nation and to the people? For 40 years of complete mishandling of the situation, both by the central government and the state governments, and for a majority of these 40 years, both were controlled by the Congress party. And for these 40 years, why were these provisions that they themselves initiated and brought in not implemented? If they had, this situation would not have arisen today. If you had addressed these problems genuinely, this situation would not have arisen today. I happen to be born into an Andhra family, but I was born in the city of then Madras. But I am a Mulki of Telangana, because by law, having studied there in Hyderabad for a certain period of time, I am a Mulki of Telangana. So it's not, I'm not taking a partisan position, and I belong to a political party, which I can say very proudly is the only political party in Andhra Pradesh which has openly taken the stand saying do not divide the state. And we are saying this on the basis of the principle that we adhere to, that once after a huge struggle in India, sir, remember, in 1947 we became independent. States were reorganized nearly a decade later in 1956. The first article of the Indian Constitution says, quote, India, that is Bharat, is a union of states, unquote. This is the first article of your Constitution, sir. The question then came about, what are these states? Which states are we talking about? Then the whole discussion was opened up. Our then Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he initially toyed with the idea of A, B, C, D states. He said in this August House, this House or the other House, in this August Parliament, that states would be divided according to administrative efficiency. Then he was reminded, 1928, his father, Motilal Nehru, chaired a committee which gave a report saying that the Congress's organization then, the Congress Party's organization will be on the linguistic basis. And he said, when India becomes independent, this will be the basis for the foundation of the modern republic. Now, the question of linguistic reorganization of states was an idea that was part and parcel of our freedom struggles. And it's only after 1947 when the question came up on what basis the states, then the basic movement started, and very ironic. It was Andhra Pradesh that fired the first salvo. The Telugu-speaking people fired the first salvo in the country saying that language should be the basis for states. And after the martyrdom of Potti Sriramulu then, who was then on an indefinite hunger strike, then this issue became an issue of national importance, and soon followed the movements for Sanyukta Maharashtra, the movement for Aikya Kerala, and then the linguistic reorganization of India got into motions. We as a party have taken the position that finally we agreed, after tremendous sacrifices, very big mass movements, that we agreed on one basis for the formation of Indian states, and that is language. Do not disturb it. If you disturb it, you will open a Pandora's box, and the moment you open that box, there is no end, because there is no country in the world with so much of plurality and multi-diversities. If we disturb the criteria for formation of the states, then you'll get into problems, and that is precisely what is happening today. And that is why we had urged the Congress Party there, do not mishandle the situation. The Honorable then Home Minister, now Finance Minister, was here a little while ago, and December 9th, 2009, he makes the statement for separate Telangana. 2013, the government's intention was made clear then. If they were to implement it by 2013, what is the homework they have done? Today in the statement that he gives us, he says, many matters are under consideration of the government. I'm reading from the statement of the Honorable Finance Minister. He says the Ministry of Home Affairs will bring a comprehensive note. When, sir? 4 years ago, he made the announcement himself. Till now, there is no note, comprehensive or non-comprehensive. And then he says it will deal with subjects that will include sharing of river waters, generation and distribution of electricity, safety, security, guarantee of fundamental rights, etc., etc. Once the cabinet takes these decisions on these matters, there will be an opportunity in the House for a structured discussion.
Please conclude.
Yeah, no, sir, this is important. There's something connected emotionally with me also. I had to relocate because of Telangana. So
I know. Be short, because time is over.
Birthday speech, sir.
Birthday
speech.
I'm not claiming any special rights. I'm not claiming any special rights. I just want to air my points of view. Sir, here, therefore, what my point is, sir, 2009 December, you make the announcement. If you are going to actually implement it, you should have done your homework and thought about all these things. You have not done it. And now the timing, that is why timing becomes suspicious. The timing is what, sir? What is the reality, Indian political reality? Neither the UPA 1 government nor the UPA 2 government would have been possible but for the large number of seats that the Congress Party get elected from Andhra Pradesh. 37, 33. Without that numbers, these two governments would have been impossible to form, whether our outside support or no outside support in the first place. But now, with the situation in Andhra Pradesh, where there is going to be a complete possible wipeout, in order to cut the losses, you have taken such a decision which is playing havoc with the people of our country and havoc with the people of the state. So that political opportunism, that is very evident. Huh? Whatever PI support was, my dear, the point is that support base, we'll test it on the field. That will test it on the field, not here. Here you take a principal position. What is your principal position? You are today now implementing what you say your then Home Minister announced in December 2009. These 4 years you have done nothing. The Chief Minister today gives a statement in Andhra Pradesh where he is baffled at the decision. The Deputy Chief Minister is contesting the Chief Minister himself, saying the captain of a ship cannot speak in such confused voices. This is what the Deputy CM says. The ministers are not able to come and attend office. The MLAs are going to hiding. The people are totally confused of what is happening there. So what is the situation they are degenerating into, sir? So that is why, if this is what the government had to do, if this is the statement of the Union Finance Minister that we are discussing today, if this is what the government had to do, why did it take the decision to announce it? Do all this and then announce? Why did you make an announcement earlier? And that is the political opportunism of the Congress party, and that is the way in which they have mishandled the situation. Now, I have, sir, lost 2 years of my educated life in 40 years ago. This year, now, our children, all of them are losing their years, their school years and college years because of these agitations that are going on, for which there doesn't seem to be a solution. Therefore, my humble thing, I'm concluding, sir.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
please.
I don't want to stretch your patience also, but I'm concluding.
No.
Sir, my sincere
your time
request,
is over already.
Yes. My sincere request to the government through you, my sincere request is, there are many contentious issues that need to be resolved. If these issues have to be resolved, it cannot be done in a haphazard, knee-jerk manner like the government is planning to do. What needs to be done is to have a proper consultation. If the Union Cabinet comes to some conclusions on the issues that the Minister himself, the government himself has reiterated in this note, place those issues before an all-party committee or bring them to this Parliament so that we can discuss it, but do that as urgently as possible. We understand the elections may come, code of conduct may kick in, therefore you can't announce the formation of a state, and therefore you went into a hurry. And in that hurry, you're messing up things much more than what they already are. So therefore, you have a proper committee in consultation and bring everybody on board, and that is the only way in which I think this problem has to be addressed. And I want the government to seriously consider this approach. Through you, I'm making this suggestion, sir, and I would be very happy if the minister concerned will reply to this, will categorically answer that these are issues that we take up. Finally, sir, please do not play with the fire, with the sentiments of the people, emotions of the people. Now this is not in the interest of the country, and even for you meaning the government or for the ruling party, even for you eventually, that if you think you're cutting your losses by trying to get some seats in Telangana, you may eventually end up by actually falling between both the stools and then not really gaining from either side. So for the sake of the country's unity, people's unity, please do not play with emotions like this. Sit down properly, consult everybody, take everybody on board, and then take the decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Matren.
Thank you, sir.